What's the most awkward thing someone has said to you right after the deed? Story 1. I was out with a friend. We had the darkest of humor that has us cackling like fiends. She invited me to her place, still making jokes during foreplay. We had a blast. After, she slumped in my arms and says, "God damn, you're way better than my brother," and starts shaking. Dead silence ensues. I start to stutter out something comforting. She shakes even harder. I'm getting genuinely concerned. After a few seconds, she can't hold it in anymore and starts howling with laughter. "You ass." I start laughing. "OMG, you were too easy." From time to time, if we were out after that, she'd introduce me as her big brother and start snogging my face very aggressively. Good times, good times. Story 2. You're a lot bigger than your cousin. This is how I found out my cousin had previously fucked his hot neighbor girl that he introduced me to. He was at that time dating her older sister. Made me feel good, though, since prior to this, girls would refer to him as my hot cousin anytime they asked me about him. Also, she couldn't get enough of my dick. After that day, we fucked almost every day for 2 years. It only got me in trouble after I broke up with her, and she started dating someone else. We were hanging out as friends, and after I got a little flirty, she went down on me. Her boyfriend found out. I'm pretty sure he concocted an elaborate plan to kill me. Story 3. One of my exes burst into tears right after we had sex and said something along the lines of, "I don't want you to worry about me being with other guys while I'm home visiting my parents." Of course, this statement was concerning to me. I took her to the airport the next day so she could fly home, and a couple weeks later she broke up with me via text. The next time I saw her was like a month later, when she came with movers to move out of our apartment. Yes, I didn't need to worry about all those other guys she was most likely f***ing after all. Got tested after this. Story 4. I was a late bloomer, 22-year-old virgin, and I met a very nice younger lady at the beach on vacation. She had just turned 18, but clearly had a lot of experience. I also had the vibe that she usually sought out pretty toxic older dudes, and I just happened to be that quiet, nice guy she set her sights on for the day. We spent the day together and ended up finding a quiet street and getting in the back of her SUV. To say my performance was underwhelming would be an upsell, lol. But as we laid there together, she looked me in the face and said something like, "Have you ever had that feeling with someone new?" I don't want to call it love, but my heart sunk. Luckily, I was awful at phone conversations, so even though I felt bad and obligated to talk to her once we both traveled home, it pretty much fizzled out that month. Story 5. Story time. Also, I am the one who said the awkward. So back when I was in high school, my friend liked this girl. Turns out she liked me instead of him. Being a bro, I asked him, and he said go for it. So I did. This was after her dropping several hints that I was oblivious to, the biggest being, "Hey, let's go in this movie. There is nobody there." Me, "Nah, that must mean the movie sucks. Why would we go there?" Finally, I figure it out, and we meet up to hook up. Being teens, we had to find somewhere, so the woods it is. In the middle of a BJ, I moaned and go, fuck yeah. Would you do this to insert friend who liked her's name here?" She stopped, dick in mouth, and goes, no, and awkwardly continues to finish me off. Most awkward ride home ever. I have no idea why I said that. Story 6. I ran into the girl I dated throughout high school like 10 years after the fact. After school, she joined the military, so she just poofed out of my life. Happened upon one another. Want to catch up? Turned into going back to my place rather quickly. Had sex. We finished together, and before I'm even off of her goes, "Oh my God, you're so much better than my husband." You're, what now? I had never felt so appalled and betrayed and complimented before. Story 7. Was supposed to be a fuck buddy relationship with this chick in my college dorm. So my post-nut clarity kicked in, and I was thinking, damn, I think that's the last time we should fuck. Meanwhile, she's over there imagining our future. And the awkwardness set in when she said, "I can't wait for my mom to meet you. She's gonna be so proud of me." I was pretty much speechless. Before I said a word, she said something about, "I don't normally say things like this, but I'm thinking please no, don't say it. I think I'm in love with you." To this day, I'm not sure if I did the right thing, but I said I love you too and commenced round 2. I had to end things the next day, and I had never broken up with anyone before, so it didn't end well. I had known her for less than 4 days at that point. was probably my most strange and awkward weekend of my entire college, yet gave me a huge confidence boost in the bedroom. Story 8. I remember a girlfriend and I being super sexually compatible. Like everything we were into the other wanted, and sex always felt incredible for both of us. But one time after sex she said, "I have to tell my mama about this. She'd be so jealous." I couldn't tell if she was talking to me or just saying it out loud, but she said it in a Mickey Mouse voice like she was trying to be funny, but it was so awkward. And then when I did finally meet her mom had the look, so she definitely really did talk to her mom about it. I also think the sex was a big reason she kept me around, because when she broke up with me a few months later, she cited the sex got bad as one of her reasons. Maybe I was just thinking too much about her mom after that day. Story 9. He broke up with me. We had been seeing each other for a bit, but had decided we weren't a good match. Both out B days were coming up, and we had already gotten each other gifts, so we agreed to keep seeing each other until then, like 2 weeks away. A few days before out B days, he invited me over. We had dinner, chilled, had sex, then he walked me to the door. It was past the time I needed to leave to get home to start getting ready for work the next day. He ended things on the steps of his front door, saying he couldn't keep acting like a couple, knowing things were ending. I told him that was fair, but he definitely shouldn't have fucked me first. His excuse was he wanted me to feel good one last time. Like he was some kind of sex god or something, when bro couldn't even listen to my trying to teach him how to pleasure me. Needless to say, the trash took itself out. Story 10. I got to go. And also, I don't think we should have a serious relationship right now because I'm going on end-of-school trip, common in my country, soon, and I want to be single. After my first time ever, after being official for a year and talking many times about how I wanted it to be special and with someone I was serious about and I loved, he also quite coerced me into it because I said no and that I wasn't ready multiple times until it was too late. The coercion thing is fucked, but the fact that it wasn't special doesn't matter at all. I wish I had known that as a teenager, though. It hurt me so bad. It's like the guy had one goal and one goal only, and the mask slipped right off after he got the prize he wanted. Super fucked. Story 11. After we were done and gaming in the living room like 2 hours later, why are there broken condoms in the bathroom? Did you break one before we had sex? No, our condom broke, but it's no big deal. Why didn't you say something? Because it's not a problem. I pulled out and came on your ass anyway. It is a problem. I told you I'm not on BC, and even a few swimmers can result in pregnancy. That's fine. I'll be a better dad than my brother anyways. Don't know why he said that. Never met his brother. Just heard him complaining about how awful of a person he was. Well, I'm not ready to be a mom, which is why I brought the condoms. It's not that big of a deal. Besides, it's not the first time. They usually break when we have sex. Like hell it's not. Why didn't you say something sooner? He just shrugged. So I grabbed my clothes and condoms and told him on the way out the door to get a plan B that there would be no more sex between us. I still don't understand how I enjoyed it so much that I never knew the condoms were breaking. These were high-quality Magnum Plus, as he was a big dude and I knew regular size wouldn't hold well. I didn't know he was having issues with the big ones too.